Hey, y'all. This is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends. Welcome to Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
And Dave's not with us again.
No.
Now, we're not going to make a joke that he's somewhere in the hollow earth.
That's what I was just going to say.
Maybe it's not a joke. Maybe he is. Our bud Dave, he got himself a puppy dog.
Yeah.
No, that's
We
right.
got an
That's
adorable
right.
little yellow lab. So he's got a lot of things to do and take care of at the moment.
He's got to potty train another child.
I know,
That's
right?
what it is.
Yeah.
It is. Like, and you're thinking about getting a dog.
Yes.
Wait.
Don't say that. Hold on.
Wait, because that could spoil a surprise.
I don't think.
If,
I don't
if
know.
a
if
certain person would listen to this episode.
Yeah. I don't. I think we're okay.
Okay. Wait, so we can talk about it?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So we were at Moo Duck having a couple beers before we record, like we always do. Mm-hmm. Nash drops this little nugget that he might get his wife for their
Yep.
How many?
For her 50th birthday.
for 50th birthday a puppy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. There are two things in the world she wants more than anything else in the whole wide world. And it's a little puppy because she's a dog girl.
Okay.
And my son and I, we are cat guys.
Okay.
She would like to have a puppy and an electric bicycle.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What's an electric bicycle? Like the little motor on the back?
Yeah, it's got a little motor in the middle, so it's
But you can pedal it.
You can
So
pedal.
It's not a moped.
Correct. You can pedal, but if you want, it also has the throttle on there, so you can throttle up and you can get to work. Yeah.
Why don't you get her like an EMF detector or a spirit box? You think she'd be into that?
I think she would prefer the electric bicycle and maybe the puppy.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
Hopefully she doesn't listen to this before her birthday.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully she won't
No.
listen. But if anybody has any good reviews on the electric bikes,
Okay.
or if anybody who knows me personally, please do not mention this to my wife.
And if it's after the fact,
Yes.
then collectively here on the show, we would love to say, happy birthday, Stephanie.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And I can't wait to hear if you got a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a huge, huge task.
Oh,
Yeah, she would like to have a dog. We've had cats since forever, but when she and I first met, she had a little dog, and that was the last little dog that she had. And it's been a solid 10, 15 years, and she would love to have a little corgi puppy.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
sweet.
big floppy ears. Yeah, that's what she wants.
Well, speaking of big floppy ears, which has nothing to do with my
I was like,
transition
wow.
to our topic, I was just
That'd be really cool.
we are going to talk about the most requested topic. Mm-hmm. That's a lie. It's not the most requested topic.
But it has been requested.
But it's a
ton.
huge, Tombstone, Arizona.
Yes.
Now, if you've been listening to the show, you know Nash lived in Arizona.
Yep.
His cousin, Mark, with a C, has been there.
Yes.
Our buddy, awesome listener, Cody, he's going there on a family trip. So it was about time to talk about Tombstone, Arizona.
So is this going to be like a visitor's guide kind of a thing, or is this going to be like a what to look out for?
I don't know. I guess
Don't go here kind of a thing. Don't do this.
I have no idea what the episode will be until we start talking.
Oh, who knows, Cody? Who knows?
Now, before we get to the main topic of the show, of course, we like to do listener feedback brought to you by Living Among Bigfoot, the only book series to drop the 15th of every month on Amazon.
Yes.
Liz, did you read the new installment?
I did. I'm on the 8th one right now, and it's the Window Watchers.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Right. Oh, really good.
It
It's
was
gone
really
from
good.
you gone from good to
I
very
know.
good to really good.
It was really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Living Among Bigfoot. Check it out. So we're going to jump right in here, everyone. We heard from Jake. He said, "Hey, guys, I put that just to hear you say it. Makes me
Nice.
smile each time."
Nice.
Thanks, dude. So glad you're going to do Tombstone. I traveled for work, and I spent a day out there last year. I did the Birdcage Theater ghost tour, and it was amazing. We had a lot of activity on the EMF meters, as well as a couple of slow-moving orbs. I also kept feeling like the leg of my pants, like it was being tugged on, like a dog. The guy confirmed that one of the known ghosts is a dog.
Oh.
I also caught a shadow figure on the camera.
Orbs.
And he says, can't wait to hear your show. Wow. So he caught a shadow figure. He had the sensation of his pants being tugged on, which I think that would be very unnerving.
Oh,
That
my
would be.
God, yeah.
All throughout. Oh, my gosh. It would have been crazy.
It's better that it was not some weird goblin tugging on it. It's just a dog. We can all be like, it's okay.
And then orbs. Orbs coming through. Oh. That's interesting.
Okay. We heard from Paul. He said, hey, guys. I want to let you all know I absolutely love your podcast. Aww. I binge listen to them at work, and I'm all caught up.
Oh.
I would love you guys to talk about the Ghost Adventures documentary about the Demon House and what you guys thought about it. Anyways, keep up the great work.
Did we talk about the Demon
That was a
House?
documentary by Zach.
Yeah.
Right.
From Ghost Adventures. I did see it. We saw it.
Yeah, we saw it.
I think it's been a while. I'd have to watch it again.
I know.
But I'm going to throw this out here because I had this idea when I got this message from Paul. I'm like, what if we reviewed like paranormal movies, just like as bonus episodes throughout the month? Just because I would love to talk about it with you guys, talk about it with the listeners, and just, I don't know. There's a lot of cool movies out there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that'd
based
be awesome.
on true paranormal stories.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
So, Paul, I can't give you my opinion because it's been a while since I watched it. Now, I do remember, like, in typical fashion, I think Zach gets possessed.
Of course.
Because I think he always gets possessed. But yeah, just an idea. Maybe we want to
That would be pretty
watch
cool.
that movie and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Paul. And we heard from another Paul. This Paul happens to be from Saturday Adventures. We know Paul. He's contributed to the show a couple times. He said, I just watched the movie Living Dark about the legend of Ted the Caver, who discovers a tribe of creatures in a virgin cave.
Oh,
The story originated in 2001.
What?
The story originated in 2001, but this was the first I've heard of it. Do any of us remember if the legend was mentioned in Hellier?
See, I don't remember.
I do
not recall it.
I don't remember either. I don't.
Now, Paul, I looked up the movie, and the trailer looks intense. It just backs up the fact that maybe we should have some bonus episodes where we talk about these paranormal movies. Because I'm definitely going to watch that movie tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks intense, and I'm not a fan of some of these caving. These guys that go into these caves and they have to exhale to get through.
Oh,
A really small tunnel. That's pretty frightening.
I do have a hard time with shows like that.
In the trailer, they show one guy squeezing through this small part, and he gets stuck.
Oh, no.
No, I can't do that.
No, I can't do that. No. I would never, ever, ever be able to do that now. I'm a bigger guy. So, I can imagine a skinny dude having to exhale and getting stuck. No, for me, it would just... That doesn't work. No, I'm so sorry. I would just like shimmy a camera down in there and go, hey, look at that. There's something on the other side.
Right. That's really about it. I'd be like in a lawn chair with a beer.
Yeah.
And a
little remote control car or something with a GoPro.
Yeah. A drone.
Yeah.
Flying like, I'm caving.
Yeah, I'm caving. What are you doing? Yeah. Getting stuck down in some cave. Oh my gosh.
No, the movie trailer looked real. Thanks, Paul, because I've never heard of this, but it looks like right up my alley. I was a big fan of the movie Descent, and this looks just as scary as Descent. So it's called, anybody who's listening that would like to check out this movie, it's called Living Dark.
Okay.
And if we just do decide to do like bonus episodes where we watch and review a movie based on paranormal, Not just crazy movies like Happy Gilmore, which is an excellent movie. We'll let you know so you can watch and then be part of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
But I think it's a great idea. So, Paul, number one, we said about Ghost Adventures, thank you for the idea, because this might really, we might let this simmer into something really fun on the show. And we heard from Fat Chuddy.
Fat Chuddy?
Yeah, Fat Chuddy. He said, he gave us 2 stars on iTunes.
2?
Yeah. He said, good topics, but ... lose the annoying guy who tends to hog the airtime and is really impressed with his own humor. I can't listen to him. Sorry.
Well, but that's every single one of us. We make jokes that we are all very amused by our own jokes. That's how it works. Come on.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure Chuddy is talking about me.
Probably.
Well, but we all do. I have my own series of dad jokes. Come on now. We all have dad jokes. You're a dad. Come on.
Yeah.
We say jokes to amuse ourselves, really. And if somebody else enjoys it, that's awesome, too.
Well, I can't be everybody's cup of tea.
That's right.
But maybe he'll check back in and he'll find the charm.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Us. But, hey, everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
We heard from Christina. She said, good morning, y'all. Just an update. After 2 years, I'm finally medically cleared and in remission.
Yay!
Yay! That's fantastic.
Today is the first day that I've been allowed to exercise. 2 years of bed rest and steroids have not been kind.
No,
Oh, wow.
LOL.
Yeah.
Y'all kept me company in the hospital and through my recovery.
Aw.
And y'all will be keeping me company as I start back getting into shape. Much love to all, and keep the weird coming.
All day long. That's fantastic.
Christina, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that we were able to put a smile on your face
Right.
while you were going through some struggles that not everybody understands and has to go through. So I'm glad we were able to be there for you.
Yeah, and just give you just that little bit of distraction. I mean, you're giving so much in the way of the hard work and the dedication to pull yourself out of this, and now you're done and you're in remission, and now you're going to be working out. If we can help you with that, that's fantastic. That's what we're here for.
We heard from Melissa in Missouri. I am from Missouri and remember the Momo hysteria. I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. She also said, I thought maybe you would play the Momo song by Bill White that had been recorded during the craze. And we didn't.
No.
But I told her, oh, yeah, I can't believe I didn't do that. So I'm going to play a little chunk right now. You can find his song on SoundCloud. No, that's Desmond. Got too many window tabs open. Here he is. Not SoundCloud. Bill White, WHYTE.bandcamp.com. But here's a little snippet of his song.
One hot night on a hill at the edge of Louisiana, Missouri, family reported a huge monster roaming around behind their house. He was big, mean, hairy, smelly, and ugly. Within days, this monster, fictitious and real, became a folk legend regionally, and the stories of him were printed worldwide. This Missouri monster was nicknamed Mo-Mo.
I don't play too much more this song, but if you want to check it out, Bill White, WHYTE.bandcamp.com. Yeah. So that sounds pretty funky. I love the fact you could hear like the
twang that was going on in there.
and also a little the record dust.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So, Melissa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We heard from, let's see, XPD Gavin. We heard from him on Twitter. He's our good buddy from New Zealand.
Right on.
And he said he remembered his headphones, and he's running out of episodes to listen to.
Uh-oh.
He's on number 58 now, so he's pretty much all caught up. But He did leave a voice recording because he thought it was funny. You were reading his story
Yeah.
that he sent us on the last episode, and he just thought it was funny, some of the pronunciations in New Zealand stuffs here. I'm going to play his voice messages here, but let's do it.
Hey guys, Gavin here from New Zealand. Just finished listening to episode 58 earlier and was cracking up at Alicia's attempts to pronounce some of the names from the stories I gave you. The local dragon is known as a taniwha or taniwha, depending how you want to pronounce it. They can be good or bad. Some folklore, they're said to protect an area or a person or a tribe, and other folklore, they'll attack you if you tread into their area. They can take on different appearances depending where they're seen. Sometimes as sharks in the ocean, or else closer to land, on land, and in rivers and that.
I got to pause you right now, Gavin. Did he say it could take on the appearance of a shark?
Yeah, a shark in the waters. Yes.
Wow.
That's wild. Right? Dude, no, I'm not going to be in the water at that time.
No.
And whatever.
Hey, I'm jumping back in.
Large lizards. The other word I was laughing at was Maori. There's a few different ways this can be pronounced. The most common is Maori or Maori. Just to clarify, it's the name for the indigenous people in New Zealand.
Oh, thank you.
Although I'm born in New Zealand, I'm known as a Pakeha, which basically translates to white person, because my parents weren't born here either. So, anyway, enough from me. Can't wait for the next episode. I've got dishes to go do. By the way, a torch is a flashlight, Alicia. Catch ya.
Thanks, Gavin.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Now, I remember when I had laughed in the story, they were talking about the tiles in the kitchen started to bubble up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking natural gas. And then when they went to get torches, I chuckled because, like, the last thing I would get was an open flame.
Right.
But clearly,
Obviously,
it's a
yeah.
flashlight. Gavin, thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
I hope everything's going great in New Zealand for you.
Yeah, anytime.
Gavin's also the one that wishes he could try one of your beers someday.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I would also say to anybody out there who would like to send us a voice recording just like that of how we butcher
I know.
some of the names, please, please, please. We would love it.
It's almost like every single episode, I think we butcher a name. So I feel really bad, but I just don't know how to say it.
That's
So-
okay. That's
To be
okay.
honest, we probably butcher
Most.
names in our own dang state.
That's
so.
right.
We heard from the Bunny Man.
Oh, no.
I told you guys kept saying the Bunny Man 3 times.
I
It was
know.
only a matter of time before he's attached to us now. We can't get rid of him. But the real _ Bunny Man on Twitter, he said this was in response to a tweet that we had made about the Missouri Monster. So it goes, one night on the railroad bridge, they could smell it smelled like rotting hair. They heard the scream that sounded like a panther. And this thing lifted up a railroad timber, and the people that were witnessing this ran away. So in response to that tweet, the Bunny Man said, "Hold my beer." So apparently the Bunny Man is not afraid of anything.
Wow. Nice. And apparently the Bunny Man also doesn't mind having a beer.
No.
That's okay. Okay, so that's a plus in the Bunny Man category. There are many negatives, but there is one plus. He enjoys a good beer from time to time.
We heard from Kevy Keys _ Beats, Kevy Keys Beats, on the Instagram in response to something we posted, and they want to know, is it a Sasquatch or something else about the Momo? So we replied we thought maybe it was a cousin of the Bigfoot,
Right.
and they were like, ooh, scary, with 3 fingers, ? Anyway, what's funny is they were like, it's definitely a cousin. It's cousin George. So now Frank
has a cousin George. That's fantastic.
Kevy Keys, thank you. And they also said that my brother saw one in Arizona. It was gray.
Oh.
Wow.
So in Arizona was
the Mogollon
the
monster.
Mogollon. Man, I would just love to see one.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
You know?
Right.
That's
Right.
awesome. Kevy Keys, thank you so much. Also on Instagram, we heard from Maui Skunk Ape.
Oh, right on.
And they say, aloha, just spreading the word about my micro flick. I'm going to butcher this Maui Skunk Ape song. I apologize. Waiamoku Skunk Ape, which is Hawaiian's Bigfoot. And you can learn more at MauiSkunkApe.com, MAUI skunkape.com.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Aloha.
That's right. Exactly.
We didn't butcher that too bad.
I don't think so.
All right, we heard from Paige. Paige has contributed to the show several times. She had another article that we might be interested in. This one is about the Overton Bridge in Scotland, which they call the Dog Suicide Bridge.
Oh, where they were jumping off over the side of it from here at Tone or whatever it was.
Paige, we actually covered this on like episode 3 or 5.
It was an early one, yes.
Yeah, because my bud Ryan, his wife, suggested this. Shout out to Mrs. Bop. What's up? So we did talk about that, but I was looking over the article. I'm like, man, there's probably still more to explore and talk about on that. So, Paige, thank you for sending us stuff. Mm-hmm. She had something else, Nash, I think you'll like to hear. Paige said, I think it would be great, or it would be a good one to have the teenage son of one of the punchers on.
Ooh.
Can't remember his name. I like that he's a bit more of a skeptic in the group, and I enjoy the dynamic you all have with him.
Well, there's only one kid who can fit that bill.
He's not quite a teenager yet.
He will be soon.
But he's smart. Like
he's
you
okay.
think he's a teenager. That would be little Nash. That'd be Evan.
That's right.
He's been on what, twice?
I think so. 2 or 3 times, something like that. Yeah.
And both times he definitely tries to just to make a mockery of our theories with his theories.
But he's got some pretty hardcore science-based theories.
Yeah.
He's very analytical. It's we could bring him on.
Yeah. Paige, thank you. And I guess it's time to get Evan back on.
We could.
Or I like to call him Little Nash.
That's right. Now he's going to be a teenager pretty soon, so there could be a cracking in his voice. You never know.
Well, don't do that in front of him. You don't make him nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I'm a dad. Come on, that's what I do.
I did reply and say about my teenager could give a crap about the show. He's all about Xbox and Fortnite.
Yeah.
But funny thing is, like, he's made fun of the podcast a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
For a school project, he has to do like a 10-minute podcast
Oh, really?
on, I forget the topic. Either way, he's like, hey, Dad, can we use your equipment? I'm like, no.
But he could be a guest on or something like that, and we could adjust it a little
Now, of course, I'll come down here and I'll help them set it up.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I forget what it's about, but it's super interesting. And there's that moment where you're, as a dad, you're like, yes, do a podcast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's do it.
And to wrap this up, we heard from Will. He said, hey, guys, it's me again. You guys are still awesome. Like always. Keep up the good work. And I'm going to leave it hanging there because he has a story for us that I'm going to say for the second half.
Oh.
Because, Will is from that area out there where the Momo is. And he actually has some friends about the Momo, but he saw some weird lights in the sky, and that's the story he would like to tell us.
Oh.
And I'm going to say that for the second half.
Okay.
Right on. Okay.
Thank you so much. If you'd like to send us some feedback, paranormalpunchers.com. And even if you don't like us, well, it's okay.
That's okay, too. Well, not really.
Yeah. All right, guys, you ready to dive into something that we've been hearing about now? I'd say the past 4 or 5 episodes, people have been bringing up Tombstone, Arizona.
That's right.
So we are going to jump into Tombstone, Arizona here. I'm bringing up my notes. I'm ready to rock. Okay. Now, as we get rolling here, I just would like to set up just Tombstone, Arizona itself. Not the hauntings, not the paranormal. Just something that you could find this out there on the internet, on the Wikipedia. But I love the fact that the town is named based on this dude. He was going to go, I think he was looking, I forget what his name is. It
Edward Schieffelin?
Yes, Crazy Ed.
Schieffelin?
You're calling him Crazy Ed?
I'm calling him Crazy Ed.
Well, his friends told him, well, if you go out there, you're going to basically just find your tombstone.
Right.
So his friends were basically like, dude, you're crazy. That's probably why they call it crazy.
Crazy.
And if you go out there exploring for, silver or gold,
Right.
you're going to die.
You're going to die.
Well, turns out he found a silver mine.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess thumbing his nose at his friends, and a little ha-ha, he named the mine Tombstone.
Yeah.
So once the word got out that this happened, people started flooding that area, and then the town of Tombstone.
It flourished.
Yeah.
It blew up. Yeah.
So it's just crazy to think that this dude found this mine, this silver mine, and everybody just was like, "We're going to Tombstone. We're going to go find our own fortune."
Right.
And this town just started to blossom
yeah.
out of that.
Right. Yeah, because Tombstone itself is in the middle of the desert. There's just nothing out there. It is super hot. There's no water. It's what you would imagine when you see a desert in the movies. It's just nothing. There's just nothing but dirt.
Yeah.
Occasional mountains out there, but it's hot as crazy out there.
When you watch movies like Tombstone, though, everybody is dressed head to toe in
Yeah.
clothing.
I know it. I know.
Like full jackets and suits. Like, if it's that hot, wouldn't you just be ripe always?
I would imagine so. Yes. I don't know what the hygiene regiment was for the residents of Tombstone, but I figured it would be a very smelly place to live.
How comes people in Tombstone and out there in the cowboy towns? How comes nobody was rocking shorts and a tank? How comes they were always head to toe in a suit?
Well, and
That I think was a sign of the times.
Yeah,
That's
it was
what
a
they
sign of the
wore.
time. That's exactly right.
Yeah, but still, you gotta at some point you're gonna be like, all right, look,
well, and that
I invented this shirt. It's called a tank top.
well, but the tank and the shorts, those were that was your underwear. You used to have full body underwear, and back then, even now, if you're wearing a tank top outside in where Tombstone is in Tucson, kind of in the southern Arizona, you're going to be outside for 15 minutes. You're going to get a burn.
You're sunburned.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
sunburned instantly. That's just how it works. You've got to wear sunscreen. And who knows? Maybe back then
They didn't have sunscreen.
They didn't have
so
sunscreen.
You wore a full suit and a cowboy hat.
and you just sweat. That's what you did. Is you just sweat all day long.
That doesn't sound good at all.
No,
I could see the anger.
anger, the frustration, a lot of baths and places to like shower and do things. I don't even know if they had showers at that point.
I don't know.
Oh, it was a stinky place.
Ooh, I was gonna say, it's taking a poop.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, forget it. No way. Not there. It's just everything smelled. It was hot and stinky.
Yeah.
That's good times by all.
Good times.
But they had liquor, so it evened out. Everything.
But I imagine the liquor of the day was like firewater. Like literally.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they
Right.
probably had to cut it severely with water or you're just going to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back of your throat the whole way.
Well, I imagine back then they didn't really care about that. Because it was some more raw time, It's hard alcohol, hard smells. Everything was hard living. It was that's just how it was.
all hard.
It was all. Yes, thank you.
Why don't we jump in
Okay.
to some of Tombstone, Arizona and the paranormal? Alicia, take it
All
away.
right. Well, there's quite a few different locations that are considered haunted. But just in the streets of Tombstone, there's quite a few things that occur. The very first, I think he was the first, I know.
What happened there?
I'm sorry.
What happened?
He was like the first, sheriff or whatever of Tombstone. His name was Marshall White. And he was going out to disarm some of the clans that were going on in the area or whatever. He ended up getting accidentally shot. He died 2 days later. And they believe that he is still haunting the street that he was shot in. People will see apparitions of him.
What was his name? Marshall White.
Marshall White, yeah. They'll see an apparition that crosses the street. And then also people see a woman in a white dress. And there's two different iterations on this one. They think it was a mother that her child died from yellow fever. So she's devastated. She takes her own life. And then also there was another version of it that it was a brothel madam who was hanged and continues to stalk the streets in search of her executioners. So who knows? But yeah, well, I mean, we've heard about women in white, these apparitions,
right?
Like, always,
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
And that would make. I think that would make sense. A mother with her daughter who died. That would make sense. I did come. Now I don't know about you to slightly interrupt.
No,
and we'll
go
get
for
into
it.
it down the road. Is that there was a lot of like prostitution murders in this area, and there's a lot of ghosts with regards to prostitution. So that could be it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to advocate already if there's a maybe a YouTube or a club of prostitution fight club. I think that could be a real niche thing that we could get into.
Okay.
But that's a sidebar.
Right.
So let's keep going.
Oh boy! So there's another apparition of a cowboy who has like a long black frock coat.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Okay. Like a long coat, like a trench coat almost.
Yeah. So people will have seen that one in the streets as well. And I mean, at least 40 people lost their lives in the one saloon and brothels that were around in the area.
At least 40 people.
At least 40. There was 2 massive fires in 1881 and 1882, and at least 40 people died from those 2 different fires. So I mean, I feel like there's a lot of options. I guess
a lot of options for the postmortem.
Yes, as far as like spirits that are hanging around, like they died in a really tragic way. Like in some of the spirits, they show up. I guess they look like they were in a fire, like they have burn wounds and stuff like that. So, and people smell like burning.
Just
things,
like just smoke in the air.
Yeah, but like there's nothing around.
Was that the fire, the Sheffield Hall fire, or was
possibly? I feel like there's been a couple fires.
I would imagine so. I imagine that fire in that neck of the woods would be just kind of commonplace.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and then I mean, I guess we can bring up the OK Corral. That's like the big one.
Of course, the big one.
Yeah. That's what everybody kind of knows about as far as Tombstone is
That's
concerned.
where the movie is kind of based around with the Earps and
the Clantons, I think.
Yes.
Earps and Doc Holliday.
Right, and the whole nine thing with the Huckleberry and the whole nine yards.
People have in that area they've witnessed like cowboy ghosts with like guns drawn in that area. So like I feel like it was a very tragic moment in time where a couple people died in that gunfight. So it was only like 30 seconds long. Like it was very short.
And it was something like there were so many rounds. There were 30 rounds in 30 seconds that were fired. It was just an immense focal point of like rounds being fired, people dying left and right, people getting wounded, and like the Clantons getting killed, and just people just all over the place, guns firing. That was just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. I think everybody knows about that, but there's quite a few other ones as well. So I don't know which one we want to talk about.
Well,
but
I thought it'd be fun to head on over to where all the cowboys and people went for entertainment. The Birdcage Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Now, so the Birdcage Theater, I think this is right up the street from the OK Corral. But it had its grand opening in December 24th, 1881. Now, the New York Times had said this about the Birdcage Theater. The Birdcage Theater is the wildest, wickedest night spot between Basin Street and Barbary Coast. So for like 8 years, it operated like continuously 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This place was always open. Always debauchery. Just nonstop.
Yeah. So it would be a good place if you were like an up-and-coming waiter or bartender looking for good employment.
Oh, yeah.
It was 24/7.
Well,
solid tips.
Yeah, I guess, they had bartenders, but they had prostitutes. They had a lot of gambling. So if you're good at dealing poker, which I would never do, because if you're dealing, I've been to casinos. You got a dealer doing it. And sometimes these dealing hands are like, that are not favorable, but I imagine in the Old West, eventually somebody's like, you suck.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And they're going to just pull on you and
Well, I'm going to reference the Tombstone movie because in that movie it shows that what I think it's Wyatt Earp is dealing, but he's got a shotgun tied underneath a table so that if things get out of hand, in your case, Mark, where it's like things get out of hand, it's right on that shotgun because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Well, they had the theater, which had these boxes along the wall. That's where they got the name Birdcage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you had all the ladies up there entertaining people, and it was kind of like it was birds in cages.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But they also had the in the of course they had the bar area, but they had in the basement, which was the high stakes private poker.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking $1,000 buy-in.
And this is like Old West time.
So that's
Right.
like what? I can't do the conversion, so I'm just going to make stuff up. So it's like $20,000 to get in the game.
Oh, it's more than that because what is the time frame? What is it? Is it
1800s.
1800s. Oh my gosh. Inflation is 3% a year. Do the math. That's going to be more than 20,000. That's going to be like 100,000. That's
So to get into this game.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's some of the people that were known to be part of this game. Now, this game was also like a non-stop running game. This game always happened, whether you were in or out. It really kind of never ended until they had, like, I guess, a flood in the basement.
Right.
But, all right, so at your inflation, you're talking about $100,000 buy-in. So some of the people that are known to be in this game are businessmen: Adolph Bush,
Okay.
George Randolph Hearst,
Oh wow. Okay.
and, of course, then we got some outlaws, Diamond Jim Brady, and, of course, the infamous Doc Holliday.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So what? I mean, I can't even imagine buying into a poker game. In today's standards, I wouldn't get into a poker game for $1,000. $1, I'd get
Right.
into a Texas Hold'em.
Exactly.
But $1,000 in that time period, I'm assuming Doc Holliday had to be rich.
Well, he
Well,
either
he's a dentist, right?
I think so. Yeah. And he was a dentist. Yeah. And so, and because this was the largest silver mining town, people would come into the money. And so that's what they would do. They would get their money. They would immediately go over, buy into a match or two, buy into a hand or two, and see what they could do. But you're right. $1,000 might even be more than 100,000. It might be half a $1,000,000. Who knows? Whoever has a compounding calculator, please, from 1800s to now, 3%. Cost of living increase. Do the math.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many dentists out there are like, because like Doc Holliday went from being a dentist to a gunslinger.
Right.
It's probably the only dentist in the world that, ever went from being a dentist.
He's the only dentist that actually did it, but I can almost guarantee that every dentist wants to do it. But he was the only dentist who did it.
Right.
Now, the Birdcage, reportedly, so they say 26 people were killed in the Birdcage Theater.
Right.
And today, you can find over 140 bullet holes in the building.
Yeah.
I know, that's wild.
It's kind of like when we go to Gettysburg, and you can see all these buildings still have these bullet holes in it. So apparently, if you go to the Birdcage, the Birdcage, you could, there's like 140 bullet holes riddling this place.
It's just perforated. That's just it. There's 140 bullet holes. That's a lot of holes. There's no R value with that installation.
No, a lot of apparitions have been seen there with like the clothing of that time period.
Okay.
There's been a lot of they've heard laughter or music. I think the sound system sometimes it'll just turn on. It'll start playing like old time music. People can smell cigar smoke and whiskey.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some really interesting things that go on in there. Staff have reported hearing sounds of clinking glass and card shuffling after closing time. So everybody's gone. They're just probably closing up or whatever. But I know they're in the actual cribs. During that
Not
time,
MTV cribs.
No.
Okay.
The cribs that they have hanging from the ceiling and on the side of the the walls or whatever. There were different. So like when Wyatt Earp came in, he would have like a specific crib that he would go towards.
You mean like the box? Oh,
yeah, the box
seats. The cribs.
They called them cribs.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
I know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So he'd have a specific place that he would go
he
to.
had box seats.
Yeah, he had a box that
he was a
went
VIP
to.
kind of a guy.
Exactly. So they have a statue of Wyatt Earp that they put in one of the boxes. And every morning they would come in and part of the statue would be on the floor. Or it would be turned around facing the wall or whatever. And they were really confused about it. And then I guess there were some historians that came in. They're like, yeah, this is not the crib that he usually went to. He went to this one over here. And this was the Clantons' crib.
Right. They put the statue
in the wrong
box. They put it in the Clantons' box.
Where they were like enemies. They were that was the major feud was between the two.
So apparently the statue had like a cowboy hat on it, but I guess not part of something you can knock off.
Yeah.
But it was getting knocked off. So the clans were walking up and just smacking the hat off of the statue.
They didn't want Wyatt Earp's statue sitting there. They were like, this is ours. But
they did say that when they moved it to the right box, based on the historians, like, no, this is where Wyatt Earp. Nothing's happened to the statue since.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So none of this, isn't it weird, like, when he was in the wrong spot,
they were pissed about it.
But when he was in his own space,
they were like,
they stopped messing with the statue.
They're like, he should be there. That was his spot. That's where he should be. I kind of like the idea that not that I like the idea, but that in where all these card games are happening in the high end or kind of the VIP room, that you're getting entire swaths of ghosts who are still doing in death what they did in life.
Right.
So it was maybe most of these deaths that happened in the basement of these card rooms kind of happened all at once. Whereas they still want to do what they were doing because that's what they were doing when they died. That's kind of the key for me, is that the music was playing, the dealers were dealing, so that means that something got out of hand and a bunch of people were killed all at the same time, and they're
still trapped in that moment.
They're trapped in that moment, being there. Right, exactly.
So if you're trapped in that moment, you're a Clanton, Wyatt Earp's in your space, you smack his hat off his face.
He's always in your space.
Yeah. Until you go back to your own spot.
Right, exactly.
And now they stop messing with him.
You're right. Until they can go back to playing cards, they hear music in the background. That's wow. That's unbelievable.
There was this the one story I came across. I thought it was pretty interesting. So let me look at my notes here. So there was this gambler named Billy McGreen.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he was, he was talking to a couple of the ladies that worked at the Birdcage. One was named Margarita, and the other was named Gold Dollar.
Gold Dollar.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a sign of the times. That's all right.
But apparently, Gold Dollar was like his go-to.
Okay.
And so I guess one day he was just like paying too much attention, flirting too much with Margarita. So Gold Dollar stabbed Margarita with a double-edged stiletto knife, repeatedly in the chest.
Wow! Holy moly!
So I guess so. Gold Dollar fled the scene, tossed the murder weapon. They eventually found it a century later, somewhere behind the Birdcage, and now it's on display.
Wow!
At the when you go there, you can see it.
Really interesting.
Now I came across a similar thing where two prostitutes were fighting.
The one I just said?
Was Gold Dollar a prostitute?
Yeah, Margarita and Gold Dollar.
Oh, see, that's what I missed. I missed that Gold Dollar.
Gold Dollar was just like not having.
Gotcha.
Billy hanging with Margarita,
and it wasn't a stiletto knife; it was her stiletto heel.
Oh.
See how the stories can change over time.
I know.
Yeah, I got it. Was there stiletto? Then it was.
I got a double-edged stiletto knife.
Oh, see, I got a stiletto heel from her high heel.
Oh, geez.
That's even more savage.
That's
pull your
like
shoe off,
right?
and
Shoe off and killing her with a high heel. I thought, oh, that's it right there. Yeah, because I don't know. I was like, that to me seemed a little bit more Wild West. You know, two prostitutes getting into it. Prostitute Fight Club. I'm all in. We need to start this channel. This is a live channel
so
that
you're all into a game show called
reality
Prostitute
show
Fight Club.
Prostitute Fight Club. Let's do it. And we
PFC.
PFC.
Welcome to the PFC.
Welcome
network.
to the PFC. Your tools for death are stiletto heels. You know, you could do a slingshot with braziers. I don't know, right? Or like a mace kind of a thing. I don't know. It's still in the works. I'm just thinking it's
You're
coming.
spitballing.
Yeah.
Just spitballing ideas.
Okay.
You know, yeah, just brainstorming.
Alicia, would you like to bring us back onto the rails?
Boy. Well, yeah, there's quite a few things that happen in the Birdcage Theater.
This is one of the biggest hot spots
Yeah.
in Tombstone.
Oh yeah, I know there's like a heavy dice table. It weighs several hundred pounds, and it mysteriously moved in the night. And so the employees came in. They were like, what happened? It took 8 people to move it back to its position. So they don't even know how it moved, who moved it. Obviously, it was something unexplained, but not too far from there is the Boot Hill Graveyard.
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Couple of things I found about the Birdcage.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, there's a poster that's called Fatima, the belly dancer. If I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. So apparently, this poster, there's a lot of people that have taken their picture next to this poster, and this one instance, the person in their viewfinder, they were like, there's somebody standing next to you.
What?
So the person moved positions, and then whatever apparition they were seeing had switched and went on the other side.
What?
And this is not an uncommon occurrence. So I don't know why or why this poster would have this issue.
Right.
But it's called Fatima, Fatima, the belly dancer.
Okay.
So this poster, a lot of people get some crazy photographs.
Interesting.
At this spot. Now, a couple little tidbits about the Birdcage. Of course, you got people that work there, people that have to manage the place. So they got security cameras and monitors and stuff like that. But one report is that somebody's watching the monitors, and what they could see, their best explanation is a pair of boots and spurs walking down the hallway.
What?
No legs.
Just the boots.
Just boots and spurs.
Boots and spurs.
Wow.
I mean, that sounds like a song right there. Boots and spurs. Probably actually is a song. So they were like, what the heck? They freaked out. So they went out to check out the area they saw it in, and there was a couple that was just coming from that area, and they were complaining like, how comes this hallway is freezing cold compared to the rest of the building? And of course they're like, I don't know, because the temperature's all set to the exact same thing.
Right.
Interesting that where she saw this apparition, another couple that just happened to be passing through was like, it's freezing cold in here.
Right.
Yeah. So they see a lot of crazy things at the Birdcage. And I feel like the Birdcage is absolute hotspot.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. But I would interject, and I would say, boots and spurs, if you're going to walk around through your house, that is a really nice just outfit to wear.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, it's comfortable. It gives you good support.
That's how you walk around?
I'm just saying, if I'm cleaning throughout the house, boots and spurs, that's really the way to go.
Nothing else?
No, you know what?
Well, I apologize, everybody.
Yeah, that mental image is now burned.
Now, the Birdcage is not the only place.
No.
Liz, you have some other hot spots.
I have quite a few, actually, but there's not a whole lot on this, but the Boot Hill Graveyard, it's called that because Many of the occupants that have been put in the graveyard, they died with their boots on. So that's why they call it the Boot Hill Graveyard.
Which is also a song by Iron Maiden.
Is it? Okay. But visitors often see like strange lights. They hear they don't know where these noises are coming from.
Okay.
They've actually seen apparitions, and then more frequently, it's in photos that people take. They take the photos, and then when they look at them later, they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's something in here. There's something appearing here." But
now, correct me.
What do you mean by something?
Well, I feel like a lot of the photos that are that people get there, that it's not like you can't really tell that it's a apparition. It's like a mist or it's unidentifiable. It's like a mirage or whatever. But
just like floating around the graveyards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder if that's where people are seeing like orbs and things along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I came across when it came to the graveyard was that, during the day it's open and you can actually go visit it. There's a few spots where you can see the boots sticking up out of the ground.
Oh, really?
It's kind of, it's something that you can go, oh, look, it's Boot Hill kind of a thing. But at night, every single night, they lock the gates. You are not permitted to go there at night because of what you could find there.
Really?
What can you find?
Well, it's just ghosts. There's just so much activity in the graveyard that they don't permit people to go in there, and because you would be locked in. But they don't permit people to go there because of the activity that's there. Because not everybody is happy. People died there fully. They were killed. They were buried. Whether it was in
and we know they're fully clothed because apparently
they still have their boots on, but it was either in a standoff or in town, whatnot. So a lot of the times people were pissed off and they got killed.
Right.
That makes for nasty ghost situations.
Yeah.
So in that graveyard, you're not allowed to go. They locked the doors. They said you cannot enter this after the sun goes down. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Now. The Buford House is now a B&B, but I think it's called the Buford House because there was a man named George Buford that lived there with his father, and he fell in love with the girl that was across the street, Cleopatra.
That was her name?
Yes, but everybody called her Petra.
Okay.
So he was prospecting. He was out. He's one of those... he would look for ore and
prospector.
Iron. Yeah, he was a prospector.
He's a prospector.
Yeah. Okay. So he was on a big trip, and he came back and went out on this trip with Petra and some other friends. And she ended up walking home with another man. So at that point, he was like, I've lost her. He became very angry, very sad. A couple days later, she went over to visit him, and he shot her twice. And then turned the gun.
Why'd you laugh?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. It was just more of an uncomfortable, he shot her.
Oh boy.
And then he turned the gun on himself.
Right.
She actually survived it. He did not. So what they say is his spirit does not want to leave this house.
Because he messed up big time.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like, it's late at night. Nash is being respectful and escorting you home because it's it's Tombstone.
Right.
People get shot everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be like, oh,
well, but
why is Nash walking Alicia home?
Right. Well, he feels like
he's getting mad. I'd be like, oh, thank you, dude, because it's a crazy ass town.
Well,
I imagine he felt like it was his responsibility to walk her home, but she went home with somebody else.
And you add that to everybody has whiskey and everybody has sidearms. And this is 200 years, 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago, 150 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And people die. People get crazy.
The big thing with the OK Corral, like there was an ordinance in town,
right?
You can't have sidearms, so it's not like
that was what I came to. Is I don't know if that was movie magic or if that was real or not.
No, man, I read that on the internet.
Did you?
Because the internet's always true.
On the 100% accurate internet.
I know.
Because all these people are dying all the time.
Well, they're
getting killed.
You got a town full of rugged,
Old West
cowboys. Obviously, it sounds like it's not like easy living. Especially if it's that wicked hot.
Right.
And we're not capable of wearing shorts yet because that would be just too obscene.
There's no air conditioning.
There's just a lot of reasons to be angry.
Right.
I think it's a great idea for the town to be like, all right, we know you're a bunch of outlaws and cowboys, so when you come to town, check your gun, go party.
And then you can pick it back up on your way out.
Then you pick it back on the way out.
But if you knew that going into this town, which everybody, I'm guessing when
I'd have a boot gun. Is that what you're asking me?
That's exactly right. You'd have a boot gun. You'd have a backup shoved in there. Somewhere.
But I'm trying to think in the movies, I felt like everybody, well, at least the Earps, if that was the town law, the Earps, Doc Holliday, everybody in that movie had a sidearm. Nobody was following the rules.
Right. No. Exactly right.
Well, so...
Sorry, we went off on a tangent.
It's okay. So I guess both the owners of the Buford House and any guests that come in, they have seen an apparition that walks inside the home and also on along the street as well. And they believe it's George Buford. He just hasn't left.
How can he?
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a...
That's something that entangles you to that
move.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like maybe he could just ask, hey, who was that guy?
Right.
Well, he was worried because there's some stuff going on with the Earps and the clans and the Clarys. So he was walking me home to keep me safe. Maybe he could have just asked.
Right.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes the doorbell rings in the middle of the night. People have heard knocking on the walls. The faucets will turn on and off. Strange lights will appear. And some of the women have reported they feel someone touching their hair or stroking the back of their necks.
I even heard one more thing beyond that.
Oh yeah? Go for it.
One more thing, that he was smacking them on the rears.
What?
Smacking ladies on the rears, because he's not just he's so jealous that he. Yeah, it was.
So he's getting frisky?
He's getting frisky. He's taking it one step beyond. So he's feeling, he's already kind of in that whole, like, I need the girl. Yeah, I've got it right here. He gave me that look. Yes, it says, lady visitors reported having a slap on their backsides.
What?
And gentle strokes to their necks. So he was doing a little bit more. He was doing a little bit. He was feeling their hair, feeling their necks, and giving a little how you do, a little birthday goose.
Birthday goose.
A little birthday goose to some ladies going by.
Wow.
Well, like every birthday goose.
Yeah.
It needs to take a break. We'll come back because I would like to also discuss Big Nose Kate's. Because there's a lot of crazy things that happen.
Definitely.
At what used to be called the Grand Hotel. We'll be right back.
Hey, Mark, we're almost out of Moses Family Jerky Snack Sticks.
That's because you keep eating them.
Paranormal Punchers, you must listen to me. We are you from 10 days in the future.
Wait, in 10 days we get to time travel?
Just listen. In 10 days, you run out of snack sticks. This sends Nash on a rampage, setting off a chain reaction, leading to the end of the world.
Me? I destroy the world?
There's no time to explain. Just order snack sticks now.
They have 3 great flavors: original, spicy, and teriyaki.
The portal is closing. We have to go. Order snack sticks. Save the world.
Is anyone curious how we learn to time travel in 10 days?
There's no time for that right now, Dave.
Right. We need to hit the road and stockpile snack sticks.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Go to mfjerky.com and use promo code SPOOKYJERKY15 to save 15% off your entire order. Moses Family Jerky Snack Sticks. The best snack to pack on your paranormal or normal adventure.
Oh my God. Honey, look, it's Bigfoot.
No way. Let's go say hi. Hey, Mr. Bigfoot, what you reading?
You can call me Frank, and I'm reading the Paranormal Punchers comic book.
Paranormal Punchers?
Yeah, it's about a group of podcasters that get themselves in all kinds of paranormal trouble. It's like Scooby-Doo meets the X-Files, and it's hilarious.
Sounds great. Where can we get a copy?
Just head over to paranormalpunchers.com where you can find a comic book and all kinds of merchandise.
Thanks, Mr. Bigfoot. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too. Oh, and look out for that bear.
We're back. All right, man. This is we've been just jabbering for a long time here.
We have been,
and we have not even scratched the nose of all the fun topics.
That's a solid transition.
It's a terrible transition. Chuddy would hate me for that.
Boy.
So, jumping back into Tombstone, Arizona, we discovered, number one, a lot of crazy things. I'm still can't get over the fact that board shorts and tank tops didn't come into play.
They weren't
earlier.
happening. There was no sense back then, really.
When you lived in Arizona, what'd you wear?
You didn't really wear tank tops that much because as soon as you go outside, you get
But you
burned.
always wear tank tops in PA.
Because here with the humidity levels, I don't get sunburns.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I just don't get sunburns here, so I always wear a tank top.
What's the heat like in everybody says about the out there, like, oh, it's hot, but it's dry.
So down in Tombstone, in that neck of the woods, it's like during the summer, 115, 125,
Oh, my God.
130 degrees, and there's no humidity. There's just, maybe it's like 0.01 or
Okay.
0.05. There's nothing there.
But you still sweat like crazy, right?
You do, but it dries almost instantly.
Okay.
So you're never really sweaty because your clothes always dry. If you when you get out of the, for instance, when I lived in Phoenix and you get out of the pool, you put your swimsuit, you really just hang it outside, and in 5 minutes it's dry.
Wow.
To hang something outside is faster and cheaper than drying it in a dryer.
So when you lived in AZ, did you ever walk around the streets and get like stank sweat like you do in PA?
Oh yeah.
So 120 degrees is still...
It's still blistering hot. You don't go outside. It's actually like, it's more like a weight on your shoulders than it is about being hot. You go outside and it's actually like, almost like a pressure. It's weird. It's different.
Well, no, I feel like PA the same way. Like when you go out in the middle of summer and it's 98,
It feels
it
heavy.
weighs you down.
It weighs you down, yes, but you
can almost breathe in the moisture.
yeah, but when you're out there, when you go back inside to your house, you have air conditioning and it's gone.
Okay.
It's like heaven inside your house. Here, the humidity never goes away. It never goes away. So I actually equate here 98 degrees, 100 degrees here, much worse than 120, 125 there.
Really?
Because you don't have a place to escape from.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a place that people had to escape to back in the day was Big Nose Kate's. But it was actually called the Grand Hotel at the time. The reason the name changed, this thing burnt to the ground.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
In 1882. That was like 1 year after the OK Corral shootout.
Yep.
Now, this place, though, has a lot of weird things going on.
Yes.
I'll scratch the surface and then toss this over to Lish. But we're talking like it's a functional bar. So
Right.
you could go there when you're visiting Tombstone.
Right.
Hang out and get a beverage. But the staff has reported stuff like being touched. Okay. Pinched. Weird.
Okay.
Choked.
Oh.
So now we're talking about some angry spirits that are like, beyond just. I think you could probably be a little freaked out by being touched or pinched. A little weird, but feeling like something you can't see is choking you.
Right.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
The staff also talked about. Now this is weird. Like stuff that they're carrying their server trays across the room to serve a beer to you, Nash.
Right.
But the beer like comes up off the tray and then just falls down and spills stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
That would be very annoying to work there.
Oh, yeah.
that would, yes, it would be.
And of course, silverware, just flying off the table.
Yep.
And the one that disturbed me the most is apparently these spirits are knocking cases of beer over in the basement.
Yeah.
Which is just rude.
This is rude.
In all
waste.
accounts, really.
It's an entire waste.
Because they used to drink a ton of beer back in the day. So why would they be throwing it out now?
Oh, at 120 degrees, like I'm feeling like the beer's the only thing that really keeping you from pulling out your sidearm and shooting somebody.
Right.
And I imagine back in that time they didn't have refrigerators, correct? So
1800s.
Did they?
Did they have electricity?
I don't know.
No, they had gas lights back in the day.
Okay.
So maybe it was ice and
'Cause, like-
salt to keep things cured and cold.
Okay.
And
'Cause I was
also
just-
you kept it in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Okay.
always kind of like basement temperature.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
always like 65 degrees.
Okay.
It's not a bad temp for a beer.
No.
Not when it's 100 degrees outside.
No, it's the coolest thing going.
Right, right.
The one thing that really kind of freaked me out was, I guess there's mannequins that they have up on some kind of balcony there.
I saw that.
I mean, like it's like old timey decorations.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what it looked like.
That's my guess.
Okay.
But they sometimes will move up on the balcony.
that would freak
Right?
me out right away.
and
What do you mean by move? Like you're looking
Like-
at them and then they like.
No, like I feel like when the staff comes in, they're like, "Why is this in a different area? Like it was here yesterday, and now it's over here." They've also talked about them like coming off, like falling off the balcony. That
Like
would freak
something
me
tossed
out.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
that would be like,
no, thank you.
This is my tweak notice. I'm going to be going down to
You're like,
somewhere
listen,
else.
Here's my
I'm
2-minute notice. I'm out.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, there's no 2 weeks going on here. But yeah, people have had extreme cold spots and gusts of cold air, which is crazy. The lights have turned on and off. The doors have opened and closed. Things have fallen off off shelves and stuff like that for no reason. There's a lot of like physical stuff that happens in this place.
Did you guys hear about the bartender who was closing up for the night? And, clean up whatever you got to do whenever you close a bar. Probably a lot of stuff that goes into that because it's not an easy
A
job.
lot of cleaning and putting things back.
So he had glanced down and he saw this dude dressed like a cowboy. Probably thinking, cosplayer. Mm-hmm. It is Tombstone. This guy's dressed like a cowboy. Not too much thought goes into it,
Right.
because that would be the norm. But he's like, "Oh, hey, dude, hey, we're closed. You got to hit the road." Turns a little bit to do whatever. Looks back to acknowledge the guy again, and he's gone. There's no one in the bar. We're talking a split second.
Wow.
Where he's like, "Hey, dude, you got to go. Look back to put a glass back on the shelf. Look back to acknowledge the guy one more time."
Wow.
And he's like, "I'm the only one in here. What did I just see?"
Right. What did I see?
Now, and they said the guy was dressed in like a cowboy hat, full duster, looking straight out of a movie.
Right.
And I think he actually did put in his 2 weeks.
I would in a second. I'd be like, okay, done, please, sir.
I know.
Yes, I'm just going to punch out. Yeah.
Now, what would you do if you were bartending here? Because right away, that's exactly what I would think. Is I got a cosplayer hanging out,
Right.
and it's time to go. I know you're having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
You're dressed up like Wyatt Earp, but you got to go, and then it just vanishes.
Right.
Yeah. So the freak out wouldn't be when you see the guy. It's when you don't see him the next half a second
And there's
later.
no way he could get from the end of the bar and out the front door.
Right.
So that's when. So
In that time period.
me as a reasonable person, that's in question also. But would it be like, okay, I'm done. That's it. I'm good. No, I'm good. Or would you be?
I would be
yeah,
so
go ahead.
unnerved.
I go two ways on that. I go like as much as I want to experience. I want to know. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'd put my 2 weeks in or just ask if I have more late shifts.
Yeah.
Right.
Or would you be of the mind and be like, well, okay, that was a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. He didn't try to harm me in any way.
True.
So let's just keep going. And would you just accept it and keep going and be acceptant of all of that? Who knows?
It definitely would. It would definitely freak you out.
Yeah.
But I think I would want to hang out at least for another week or two just to see if it happened again.
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't resign.
Because
I was not in that guy's position. It could have been terrifying as all get up.
Right. And I would just imagine, because it's like in other situations that we've come across where where ghosts were being really malicious towards people.
Right.
That they said, you know what, I'm out of here. This is in a house. I'm selling the house. I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
Whatever. He just saw a dude at the bar, and that's all it was. You know,
maybe he just wanted another shot of whiskey.
Maybe that's all it was. Maybe it was just a bartender who was.
The tips would be terrible.
Yeah,
because you couldn't physically pick them up and use them.
Ghost tips. Wow.
Yeah.
Right on. But maybe that ghost was somebody who was killed while he was waiting for a drink. You know,
I wonder if he just shows up like every night, repeating.
Oh.
That would be
what happened. See, more interesting would be like, wonder who it was and why he was at the end of the bar and why did something happen, so he has to repeat this moment over and over.
Oh,
right, and that's just it. And he's always waiting for his drink. He never gets it, but he's always waiting for his drink right around closing time. Who knows? Who knows? Part of me, and I see what you're saying, Mark, because it would be kind of a. One side would be like, okay, there's definitely ghosts here, but the other side would be like, you know what? He's kind of just chill, and he just wants a drink, and then he's gone, and it's like that's something you can kind of plan on.
Yeah, I'm not throwing it like fake bravado here. I would be a little bit. The butthole would clench if I saw a spirit, but I think I'd want to. I think I would come back the next day just like, did I, is it going to happen again? Did I really see that?
But the next night that you closed, would you literally, now, if it were me and I decided to stay, I would literally, once the bar is closed, I would pour a shot and set it right down on the bar for the ghost.
What if you turned around to wipe something and the shot was gone when you turned back?
And he was there, and he took the shot, and I'd be like, there you go. I had one more customer, and there what he was.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. And he'd be like, there you go, man. I got you. I'm always ready for you.
Then he turns out to be a gunslinger.
Well, that's a whole different story. Who knows what comes next? But
I mean, I would be freaked out about that, but I think the mannequins is what
the
freaks
mannequins
me out
would
the most.
freak me out.
Yeah, I think
totally.
at that point I'd be like, you know what? I'm done.
I'm good. I'm good. No. Here you go.
Thank you.
Now, Old Kate's has more than just a dude at the end of the bar that somehow just appears. There is the story of the Swamper.
Right. Now, Alicia, you have that story.
He was, okay, so when it was the Grand Hotel, so before Big Nose Kate's Saloon.
Now, FYI, Big Nose Kate's is reference to Kate, who, I don't know her last name, but when Doc Holliday was kicking it in Tombstone, Kate was his girl.
Yeah.
She was the one who was with him in. I keep going back to the movie, so I'm guessing she was the one who was always there to his left hand side. Gotcha.
So when they renamed this place, they named it after Kate.
Yeah.
I think also was a one of the girls, the prostitutes in the town. So yeah, they named the.
Okay, she must have had a big nose. Yeah.
Well, I saw pictures on the article I found, and like, I don't see that big nose. Well, you think big nose? I'm thinking like, thought it would be like a standout,
right?
Like, was everybody's making fun of her?
Oh, that's sad.
And in the
maybe that's something to do with being nosy and always
maybe
knowing like
who knows?
Everybody's up to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But in the PFC, a large nose would be really detrimental.
Why?
Because you get a hit, it'd be bloody nose the whole time. It'd be nasty.
You mean
he
gets shot off?
Yeah, he could be shot off in the PFC. Anything could happen. So yeah,
What's the PFC?
the Prostitute Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that.
Right.
I thought we were letting that one go. Apparently, we're bringing it back.
So anyway,
In this corner, we have Kate.
She's got a big nose and she's ready to roll.
so in its original formation, it was the Grand Hotel, and the Swamper was the janitor or odd job man. And part of his pay was he had a room that was down in the basement.
Okay.
Apparently, all of the mines in the town, they're like underneath the town. So he actually started digging a hole from his room underneath the Grand Hotel to get to the mines.
Like Shawshank style, like with a spoon or whatnot?
They didn't actually say how he was doing it, but he was digging holes to get to the mines. And after he was done with his job, he would actually go down there and he would find some silver. I don't know why I'm saying iron.
Yeah, it's not iron.
Yeah, it's not iron. It's silver. So he would find some silver down there, and he would had this like pile of silver in his room that nobody knows what happened to it.
Yeah, so I mean, when you're mining for any kind of ore, whether gold, silver, whatever, you've got to purchase, I think, the rights to mine.
Right.
So for him to go underneath where he was working to do it, that's illegal.
Yes.
Kind of ill-gotten gains kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah.
But he was doing it on the sly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, and nobody really knows what happened to his silver after he passed away. They don't know where it is. So they think that it's possibly still underneath the saloon or like in the saloon at some port.
There's got to be a treasure map somewhere.
I know. Who knows?
Who knows? It's there.
Yeah, but they believe that Swamper is still in the building.
Okay.
And he's trying to protect his silver. That's where the whole theory or idea behind the fact that his silver never left the building.
It's still there. Now, I had come across where there was like a fire or something.
There was a fire. After like 2 years of the Grand Hotel being open, there was a fire and it did not survive. So when it was built back up, it was the Big Nose Kate Saloon.
But the bar still survived? There was
no nothing. There was like hardly any structure of the building left.
Yeah, there was like a little bit here and there, but they literally had to rebuild the building.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I know a lot of things happened down in the basement where his room was.
But my question was going towards, okay, well, if there was a fire and the whole place was destroyed and they still didn't find that silver.
No.
It's still there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's still there.
That's why, because he's linked to this silver. Someone needs to get out a metal detector and go through there. You know what I'm saying?
But those tunnels are there.
They're,
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you actually can go down there.
Interesting that that was underneath there.
Right. And you can still, like what you're saying, Alicia, you can still go down there and check out where he was digging and where he got into the mines and the whole 9 yards.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of the brewery we talked about, the Lemp Mansion.
Yeah. Where they were the oldest brewery in America.
They had all those tunnels, even underneath the mansion. They let like how vast was the tunnels that he was networking in underneath there.
Well, I'm thinking that his tunnel was probably just a short little bit because it was just to get to the next mine tunnel.
Yes.
But what my question had to be was, did he know? Yes, there are mines throughout, like a honeycomb underneath Tombstone. But how did he know there was one underneath it? So he had to do some homework.
Yes.
You mean like when he decided, can I live here, he knew there was caves and tunnels underneath there?
Well, when he decided to start digging for silver underneath the hotel, I wonder if there was a question where if he knew that there was a mine directly there that he could get into.
My guess is yes.
I think so also.
He knew where they were. He just was like, how do I get to them?
Right. And so he started digging with whatever he had, a spoon, a fork, a knife, whatever, and got to it.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what he would use.
Have you guys ever wondered, well, a lot of the weird stuff that we talk about, caves somehow come into play?
Yeah, I know.
Like I feel like is the world riddled with these caves that might lead somewhere?
Yes. Yes. There's a definitive answer. Yes. Okay. Done.
All right.
Question has been answered.
We're done talking about that one.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So yes.
Yeah. They're everywhere. They're under Tombstone, Arizona. They're under New York. They're under every major city in every major country is riddled with with caves and all the way down. Yes.
Yeah, but where do they go?
That's another question that I don't know the answer to. Yes. Actually, I think I might know the answer to, but Dave's not here to answer that.
You mean the Hollow Earth? I just think it's fascinating that a lot of the things we talked about in the past 4 episodes involve caves.
Right.
No, you're right.
And now in this case, it was tunnels, mining, even the Kentucky Goblins. There's a lot of mining, but it's not like they didn't exist till we started digging. Those caves were there.
Well, in the mining case, we created those caves.
Yeah, but I think we probably started knocking into existing.
Quite
caves.
Possibly.
That's my opinion. Like you start tunneling to get some, and you start busting into existing caves.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, underneath.
What do I know? I don't dig. I'm not a geologist. I'm just saying.
You don't dig?
Yeah. You don't dig. You don't dig, man.
I don't dig. I'm going to dig a garden in springtime.
That's right.
That's right. Fruit.
But I'm trying to think of what is the bedrock underneath there. Is it all slate? Is it limestone? Who knows? Is there caves? There has to be because there's water, and water gets down. Even in Tombstone, there's still water. You know, there's still erosion going through the soils, just like everywhere else in the country.
Yeah, what's it like in 1881? We're setting up the town of Tombstone. This is like cowboy territory. And you start setting up a town. How long does it take to dig a well?
That's a really good question.
Because it's not as easy as now when you got this equipment that can. I mean, people had to start digging and building up brick to make these wells. Like, if it's so dry and so hot, how far? Because they had to have water for the town.
Right. And
the effort to dig a well had to be incredible.
Right. And how far they had to go down to get that water. That's a really good question. So I would say if there's any kind of a aquifer expert out there, because I would imagine like here, where I currently live, we live off of a well. And that well is, I think, 150 or 200 feet deep. So imagine yourself in the Old West times digging 150 or 100 to 200 feet deep with technology of that time.
That's a pickaxe and shovels.
Oh, my God. Well, they got to have, augers, and they had blacksmiths who could do, auger bits and whatnot to drill down. But still, that's...
Are you sure?
No. I am not. But they had blacksmiths at that time.
It's one thing the movies won't show.
That's right.
Yeah.
How they drilled a well back in the day. That is a really good question. Or was there a natural spring nearby, which happens from time to time? Because in Tombstone, Arizona, there's not much besides Gila monsters.
And a lot of the Old West movies,
right?
They got a hand pump. That means somebody had to
drill a well.
Yeah.
How that happened back in the day, you know what? That is beyond my knowledge. But I would definitely say to any of our listeners, if you know how they did that in that time, please let us know. Because I don't know.
Think about it, we're so comfortable.
Yeah.
With technology and everything, it's just kind of there, to show up in the middle of the desert.
Right.
We're gonna make a town,
right?
Because this dude found a silver mine. But they start building a town, and somebody had to go out and dig a freaking well.
Yeah.
But they had oil wells at that time. They had to have drilling technology. Drigging technology. They had oil wells and whatnot, so they had to have it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, I could look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
It's way easier.
Way easier to ask all of our listeners. You guys, come on, guys and gals, come on, let us know. Because we're too lazy to look it up.
Do you think, with all that said, outside of the paranormal aspect, first off, I'd like to say I definitely am putting Tombstone on my travel list.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to hear Cody's going there with his family.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear if they do any of the ghost hunts and have any experiences.
Cody, ask them about well drilling technology while they're there. Ask them about logistics. Come on, you're going there. Ask them.
Look, if you got a tour guide and you bomb them with that question, they're not going to know what to do.
No.
That would be fantastic.
All right, so my final question on this is, would you could you survive or want to live in the Old West as a cowboy in Tombstone?
No.
I think that would be a short lifespan. I really do.
Exactly.
I think right now that we're in our 50s, Mark, you're significantly beyond that. What
are you talking about?
What? Hold on. What? I think that
I got salt and pepper.
I think that we would be at the top end of the life expectancy right now in the Old West.
Oh, what you're saying is I've exceeded. I would have been shot.
You would have been shot by now.
Before I reached
shot or died from malnutrition.
What if I was what if I was a really good gunslinger?
I think something else. I think that
was me just. You can't say it because it's a podcast. I just drew on Nash and I got him.
Yeah. That was it. That was that kind of a thing. Yeah. I think life expectancy back then with medicine where it is.
Probably 30 years old, right?
30. If you lasted to 40, 45, I think you'd be lucky.
Wow.
I think we'd be dead long.
So you have no desire to be a cowboy?
No, because they smell.
Oh.
They smell.
Yeah, but if everybody smells, then nobody smells. Right? Because we all smell the same. We don't even notice it anymore.
But imagine coming home to your beautiful wife and being like, honey, I'm home. Let's have some dinner. And you go, and you go in for a kiss and you're like, dang.
You're a little ripe, man.
You're a little ripe. You know what I'm saying?
But if we're both ripe.
True.
Yeah, but you can't.
Now, what are you brushing your teeth with? Like a wooden spoon?
Maybe with horsehair or something like that. I don't know. I don't know, but I just the smell alone for me, no.
Do you think the cowboy is like the one thing, like the American legend?
Yeah.
Where you can write. That's why we had so many stories and movies based around the one thing.
Right. That was America's the medieval time.
Right. So you have England, all these states. Countries that have like these legendless lore. So,
right.
We have
the Old
cowboy,
West.
the Old West.
That's
what at least that's what the movies have put so much into the early years of Hollywood.
Right.
Was cowboy movies.
I mean, for here in Pennsylvania, I kind of equate it now. It's not a true similarity, but to the Amish.
Yeah.
Because when you get to the Amish, they're getting married very young. They're having children very young in life. And you see a few Amish elders, but you don't see a lot. You don't see it like you do with non-Amish communities, where you see people who are retirement homes and people listening in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. You don't see that a lot.
There's no retirement home in the Amish community.
No, there's not. So it's rare to see an elder in that community. That's what I envisioned the Old West was like. That when you became an adult, a man, when you turn 18, you get married, you start having kids. By the time you're 20,
you get shot.
So by the time you're 25 and 30 years old, your kid's coming up. If you don't get shot by then, you're doing great.
So what we're saying is there's a reason Tombstone is riddled with the paranormal.
Definitely.
Because you didn't live that long.
You're right.
A lot of tragedy.
Huge chance of getting shot. Huge chance even if you weren't a cowboy or a miner, maybe just a woman trying to bake some bread over here. You might get hit by a ricochet bullet because it sounds like a lot of bullets were flying around.
Or a crazy stiletto being thrown from a brothel window.
Stiletto.
Hitting you right in the eyeball or something. Who knows?
So it doesn't sound like living at Tombstone was going to give you a long, healthy life.
No, it sounded like a hoot and a holler, but beyond that was
only in the movies.
Only in the movies.
And even the Earps.
Right.
Couldn't survive that. And, it was funny, like when you watch the movie Tombstone, which I think is probably one of the best movies. When we were researching this, when they had the fight at the OK Corral, Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday were charged with manslaughter, with murder.
Yeah.
And then he did go on a rampage trying to kill other cowboys, but they were convicted. Not convicted. They were. What's the word I just used?
Charged.
So the movies don't allude to the fact that the law was like, you just shot a bunch of people. The OK Corral.
Right.
That's not okay.
That's not okay. Right. The only thing if you were to equate it to a movie, look at Unforgiven, because that was like
That was a fantastic
movie, but it's like you go on what's right and not what the law says. And that's what I imagine it was like down in Tombstone, because it was like the law is here, yes, but you just took money from me, so I'm going to get my gun and I'm going to shoot you in the head. I'm going to get my boot gun and you're dead meat.
If I learned anything from these old school cowboy movies, the law sometimes isn't that good.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
You can't, I don't know. Again, Tombstone was a great movie. Tombstone sounds like a place that I want to check out and definitely do some EVP stuff at the Birdcage.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely Big Nose Kate's. Sounds like it's got a lot of paranormal activity.
Oh, yeah.
And
I want to check out Swampers Caves.
Yeah.
And this day and age, if you go down to Tombstone and you do stay there, there's a bed and breakfast, I'm almost positive that there's air conditioning.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and running water.
I like air conditioning.
That's
so,
good. That's good. That's good. So you can shower.
So in Arizona, you need AC.
Yeah.
AC and AZ.
That's exactly
how
right.
we roll.
Exactly.
Everybody that suggested this topic, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a blast. We only scratched the surface because there is so much history, but we're not history punchers.
That's exactly right.
Boy, that sounds like a fun show to start, History Punchers. We'd still mess it all up, and you wouldn't learn a darn thing from
Right,
us.
exactly.
But I want to check it out. Nash, maybe someday we can go back to where you used to live. And
Definitely.
We'll hit Tombstone. What do you think, dude?
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
great.
maybe Cody can meet up and we'll have some beers.
Yeah, take note, Cody. Take all kinds of notes so when you go, you have really good questions for those tour guides.
So now, with that, we're going to move on. As I said at the beginning of the show, Will, he sent a couple comments in the past. He listened to the show, supported the show. He has a story, and we're going to kick it over to Liz to read. Do it.
All right. I can't believe I never thought to tell you guys about Momo. I've written to you guys like 3 times, and I'm only about an hour and a half away from where that first sighting of Momo is. I've heard stories about Momo my whole life. I guess I just thought everyone knew who Momo was. I have good family and friends that have seen Momo in person and have told me their stories. Also, I thought I would finally tell you my story. First, I have to say that I've never told anyone about this story, but since I've been listening to you guys, I realize my story isn't that weird. But here it is. So first, you have to know that I live on a farm and I have my whole life. We live about 10 minutes outside a very tiny town, so there are no lights at night. Now, being on a farm, we work till late at night. This particular night, my dad and I were in the field. I was running a tiller, and my dad was planting. We were trying to finish up the field before it rained. So I got to the end, and I parked the tractor and got out, walked up to my truck to go home. As I was walking, I usually look up at the stars because on a clear night like that, you can see stars for miles, and it's awesome. Well, as I was doing this, I saw this extremely bright light in the sky, and at first I thought nothing of it. But then I started to slowly move. My next thought was maybe a shooting star, but with a shooting star, they tend to move extremely fast and then disappear. But it was just moving slowly across the sky. So I watched it as I walked, and it just kept moving. And if I looked down and back up again, it would be at different places around the sky. It was extremely weird. So as I was walking, I had to cross a small ditch, and so naturally I looked down so I wouldn't trip and fall on my face. When I got to the other side, I looked up and it was gone. To this day, I still don't know what it was. Also, this has happened about 3 different times in the past 2 years. The last time I saw it was last summer. Now, you should also know I'm known as a big skeptic. I tried to find every possible way to explain this. I've thought about it, and I have no explanation for it. All I know is that it was super weird. So that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for being so awesome.
Well, thank you, Will, and absolutely we enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
So he's farming out there. He near the Momo, and there's also weird lights in the sky.
Oh.
I know there's a lot of theories that say Bigfoot is connected to
Possibly,
UFO
yeah.
sightings. Like when there's a report of a Bigfoot sighting, usually shortly followed
Right.
is reported the UFO sighting.
Right.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying they're connected. I'm just saying maybe there's something with that area.
They're always kind of seem to be inexplicably nearby, like a Taco Bell and a KFC. They're always nearby.
Yeah, they're so related.
It's hard to do one without the other.
Will, do you see what we got to deal with?
I know.
No, I wish I could look up in the sky and see something that just I can't explain.
Yeah.
And,
Right,
And I
right.
could follow it, and I could just wonder what the heck that was. I've yet to see that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Nothing. Pennsylvania has its own set of weird,
Oh, yeah.
but I have not experienced UFO sightings.
Well, and for us here to be able to look up and see a clear sky,
Oof. Yeah.
that's the hard part for us here. Is there's so many nights where I've tried. That was one of the things that I miss moving here from Arizona was you get a clear night sky constantly out there.
Wait, I got to ask you. Like, for me, I see a lot of clear starry nights.
Oh, you
You're
do?
telling me that there's a huge difference that what I'm seeing here in PA,
Sure.
that what you see in Arizona.
Oh yeah, totally. Because
this feels normal to me.
so out there, I would get a clear night sky. You could look up any night of the week, and you would see 100% stars constantly. You rarely get even any kind of clouds out there. Where here, we've tried to go outside, and I've tried to show, like, my son constellations and do a little stargazing. It's a little bit more challenging here because the frequency of clouds in the sky.
I was going to say, we're always cloudy.
We're
it
always
seems.
cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard to see
For
stars.
me, that's the norm. I just assumed.
Oh, yeah. No, you could at any
I'm
night.
so sick of this state.
Oh, no.
It has benefits. Come on now.
I'm ready to move to Texas
That's right.
or Arizona.
Well, there's a lot of KFCs and Taco Bells there, so you'll be.
Then
you know.
I don't
We don't even go
I
there.
don't go to
Well,
those.
but they're just like Bigfoots and Sasquatches and UFOs. They go hand in hand.
They do not. It's not even. It doesn't even make sense.
But no, out there,
Because Bigfoot does definitely not eat chicken.
you could go.
Apparently, the Momo eats dogs, but not chicken.
Not chicken. But you could go on any kind of just slightly elevated like a lookout or anything like that, and look up at any night and at any overlook and see a beautiful night sky, a ton of stars, and just vast stars. You didn't really have issues with clouds really at all. So there's a lot of stargazing. So I can imagine when he would track something going across the scar.
Scar?
Woo! Going across the stars constantly on a just slowly moving, that would be really unnerving.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about looking down to make sure your footing's secure? You look back up,
And it's gone.
and you see it, but it's now in a different position, but it's still slowly moving across the sky.
Right. That's just it. Is who knows? Who knows what's up there?
Yeah.
We just don't know. We just don't know. Was it a satellite? Was it a shooting star?
Right.
Who knows? Was it a something coming for us?
Well, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Will, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for everybody for sending your feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Hey, we love it all. By saying that, like, you don't need to be negative. It's okay.
I would definitely say to Will also, if you're seeing that frequently, just remember, every time you can see that, they're watching you too.
Ooh.
If you can see them, they can see you.
Okay.
Let that melt your noodle for a little while.
All right. Okay. In the words of Doc Holliday, you're no Huckleberry. And remember, if it's not weird,
It's not worth checking out.